Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters World, and we're in Rome, Italy, with the Constantine Arch behind me. And oh yeah, there's that Colosseum thing over there. You might have heard of it. And today what we have for you are the 10 things that are not overrated about visiting Europe. Because there's a lot of things. We have 2 videos on things that are overrated, but there's some things that are, right on when we talk about Europe. So let's get started. The first thing that is not overrated about going to Europe are the lines at major sites. We're here in January, and there's a line forever to get into the Colosseum. You're going to the Vatican museums here, the line is insane. And if you come at summer, the lines really are crazy, like 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers long in some places, 1 or 2 hour waits to get into some museums. So if there are museums you really want to go to, check to see if they have online reservations. You can get tickets to the Louvre online. Vatican Museum, you can book tours online to skip the line. So if you get a chance, do that, especially in the summer season, because I'm not going to lie to you, high season lines are insane. Now, off season, we were at the Louvre in December. We walked in 5 minutes. I've been to the Louvre in July, and we had 2 hours waiting outside in the sun, melting away, turning my lovely pasty whiteness into red lobster. Okay, so that's the first thing that's not overrated, the lines at major tourist attractions, especially in the summer. The second thing that is not overrated about Europe is French and Italian food. Their food is amazing. You will gain weight, or you won't gain weight, because how the food is here, you will enjoy every bit of it. Not just the bread and cheese in France, but yes, you will have duck when you go there, and you will have frog legs and escargot and all kinds of crazy stuff, and not so crazy stuff, and the food is fantastic. Here in Italy, it's not just pasta and pizza. They have meats, they have cheeses, they have fantastic wines, and the food in these countries really are fantastic. And even if you go to places that aren't known for the cuisine, like the Scandinavians, like Sweden or Finland or England, they actually do have dishes that are really good. So when you are traveling, make sure you eat local stuff. Don't just go to McDonald's or the local kebab place. Don't get me wrong, I love my kebabs. But make sure you're going to local restaurants that are owned by local people to get the local flair, because the food is fantastic when you travel, especially French food and Italian, and I'd say Greek food too. The 3 best cuisines you can get in Europe. The third thing that is not overrated about going to Europe is the cheap airlines. I'm specifically talking about EasyJet, Ryanair, these really super cheap airlines that literally I can fly from Rome to Berlin for 35 euros. 35 euros, so $50 if you book a few months in advance. If you do it last minute, of course, it's expensive. But the idea that you have to do Eurorail or Interrail isn't necessarily the case anymore, because you can fly into London from the US, then take a flight to Berlin, then take a flight to Rome, then take a flight to Lisbon, and then fly over to Barcelona. You can do this actually cheaper than some of the Eurorail deals, and you can see Europe. And that's one of the great things about these EasyJets and Ryanair, is they really have opened up Europe to everybody, not just the wealthy. So make sure you take advantage of those, okay? And I'll put the links to EasyJet, Ryanair, and some other cheap airlines in Europe down in the comments section below. The fourth thing that is not overrated about Europe are the major sites. Going to the Colosseum, going to the Vatican Museum, there's a reason for those lines, because they really are fantastic, and you really should go see the Louvre. You really should go see the Prado in Madrid, and you really should go to the Colosseum, and you should go to the Vatican Museums, the Pergamon Museum in Berlin with the Pergamon altar and the gates of Babylon. Come on, these sites are fantastic. So when you see in your guidebooks top sites and stuff like that, they're not joking. They are well worth going to. Now the secondary sites, maybe not. Madame Tussauds, I don't really recommend that too highly, because it's overpriced, I feel. But you know what? The Tower of London is totally worth it. British Museum, it's free and it's awesome with all the Egyptian stuff in there. It is just to die for. So that's the fourth thing that's not overrated about Europe, are the great museums. The fifth thing that is not overrated about Europe is the Belgian, Czech, and German beers. Let's be honest, folks, if you're going to the store, do you want to buy an American beer to impress your friends or a German beer? There's a reason for that. Germany, Czech Republic, Belgium, they have tons of local brewers and a history of brewing. Germany had a beer purification law on the books for hundreds of years, and it's well worth drinking the beer when you're there. So if you are in Belgium, you are in Germany, you are in the Czech Republic, drink the local beer, because it is part of the culture and it does taste fantastic. And when you come back home, the beer won't be the same, okay? I'm not gonna lie to you. We went to the Stella Brewery this summer, and I came home and ordered a Stella. It was so different, how it's so fresh and so clean and so pure that Beer just hasn't been the same since. The sixth thing that's not overrated about coming to Europe are the expensive countries. England, Switzerland, and Scandinavia. These places are much more expensive. I mean, literally, if you spend a week in Switzerland, you could spend 2 weeks in Portugal or Spain. So if you're calculating your budget and you're thinking, oh, I'll go to Switzerland and London and Scandinavia, realize you're gonna spend significantly more money on food and lodging and transportation than you would if you went to Italy or Spain or Portugal. The seventh thing that is not overrated about Europe is the fashion capitalness of Milan and Paris. When you go to Milan and you go to Paris and you look around and you see all these fantastically dressed people, you look around and say, I haven't seen that yet. Of course you haven't. It's the hub of fashion. But you will see it in 6 months if you're in Berlin, or 2 years if you're in Chicago like me, you know? And they really are the fashion capital. And when you go around Europe, you do see they have a very different sense of style than we do in the US. And I'm sure as you see the people go behind me, you can probably pick out Europeans versus Americans. So when you are coming here, make sure you look and see what are the fashion trends, things like that, so you can fit in better. Because if you come in with your white tennis shoes and your baseball cap and white socks, you're making yourself a target as a tourist and for a pickpocket, because it's going to be pretty obvious you're an American, or you'll look like an American, okay? The eighth thing that is not overrated about Europe are the pickpockets and beggars. There are a lot of pickpockets, and yes, we have pickpockets and beggars in the US, but here in Europe, you're going to have a lot more of it at the major sites. Here at the Colosseum, you need to pay attention. In Barcelona, La Rambla, I can't tell you how many people have sent me stories about getting pickpocketed there and the cops not even caring about it. So make sure you have your valuables in your, in your hidden pocket or in your money belt, or keep it locked in the hotel so you don't get these things stolen, because the pickpockets are always on. I've seen some here today, just looking around, making sure, taking, where I'm going to put my camera and stuff like that, because you do have to think about it. Also, the beggars that are here, there are a lot of beggars, and what kind of shocks people is the fact that there are some children beggars here, especially in France and Italy and somewhat in Portugal and Spain. Do not give money to the beggars, okay, because usually it's part of a racket and you don't want to help and support those kind of things, all right? Also, if someone comes up to you wanting you to sign a petition, don't tell them to go away, because that's another easy way to pick people's pockets. The ninth thing that's not overrated about Europe are the tour groups. The tour groups will run you over. Make sure you're paying attention when you're going around, because if you see a tour group coming, they're not stopping, because there's a huge group and they just kind of plow through things. Versailles, I've been run over. In the Vatican here, they actually pushed my kids out of the way to take a picture because they all wanted it there. They huddle around. And just know, if you see a big, huge group, a tour group coming, either get in front of them or just let them pass by, because they will run you over, because it's like a herd mentality. So watch out for that. And the 10th thing that's not overrated about Europe is, in the summer, some people like to talk about the Euro funk, okay? The smell. In Europe, people do bathe, people do wash and things like that, but just know, just like if you're taking the CTA, or you're taking the L, or you're taking the subway, there's gonna be some funkiness when you're traveling in the summer. So just be prepared and make sure you're bathing and using your deodorant, because yes, sometimes the Euro funk is there, and no, it is not overrated. From 20 years of traveling Europe, take my word for it. It is not overrated in the summertime. Anyway, so those are 10 things that are not overrated about coming to Europe. If you want to learn more, 10 things that'll shock you about coming to Europe, 5 things you love and hate about coming to Europe, and multiple cities here, check us out at our website at woltersworld.com. We're also on Twitter and Facebook, and we really appreciate your likes and subscriptions, and we hope you have a great time in Europe, because it is not overrated at all. It is fantastic to come see. So, ciao from Roma. Bye.